Hey everyone, welcome to our video. In this video, we are going to be explaining about our research paper on the topic plant phytochemicals with antiviral behavior for treatment of viral diseases. This research paper is written by a team of 4 members, which includes Shashi, me, Rakshit, Santosh, and Subhash. I'm going to be introducing the topic, and Shashi is going to talk about the literature review, and Santosh is going to talk about the materials and the methodology, and Subhash about the results and the discussions. As we know, plants have been useful for humans in a variety of ways, and also from the findings from the recent past, it is seen that plant phytochemicals are responsible for the medicinal properties of the plants and they're highly effective against viral diseases. So the question might arise that why should we use phytochemicals when antiviral drugs already exist? The main disadvantage of the antiviral drug is that it shows adverse effects because of the fact that virus penetrates into the host cell and requires host cell for multiplication. Antiviral drug affecting the virus will also affect the host cell, thereby causing side effects. And also, since virus keep on mutating frequently, a viral drug which might work for one variant might not work for the another. So we need to learn more about the structure of the virus before proceeding. So viruses are basically the smallest microbes that have core genetic material of either RNA or DNA, and the genetic material is surrounded by a protective layer called capsule, and capsule contains spike which penetrates into the host cell. So plant basically offers metabolites which bind the receptors and thereby inhibit the virus replication. Now I'm going to be talking about medicinal plants. So plants were being used for its medicinal purpose from the very beginning, but it was only after the 18th century that it was seen that phytochemicals were responsible for it. And after being discovered, the use of phytochemicals in antiviral drugs has only increased, and it is now known that about 40% of the modern medicines are derived from plants and herbs, and there are over 50,000 plants which have medicinal properties according to Agriculture Organization. And it is now seen that around 80% of the people depend on plants for their primary treatment, mainly because of its less side effects. So some of the plants having phytochemicals with antiviral properties are mint, thyme, and tree. Extraction of phytochemicals is very important because phytochemicals are usually very sensitive to temperature and pressure. So optimal extraction of phytochemicals is only possible with advanced methods. So we need to keep in mind that the extraction of the phytochemical should be standard, so that even if there is more dose of phytochemical, then it might lead to side effects. As in case of bitter melon, it is effective against malaria, but increased usage of it might lead to drop in blood sugar levels because it is seen that bitter melon resembles insulin. So currently the main techniques used for separation are thin layer chromatography, flash chromatography, and high performance liquid chromatography. So there's still a very long way to go in order to find the optimum extraction methods and also to discover newer phytochemicals. And this here on the right is a small setup on how extraction of phytochemicals takes place. Before we go on talking about phytochemicals in particular and their properties, we first need to understand some of the most common viral diseases. So the first one in the list is influenza. It is mostly known as seasonal flu, and it occurs to about 55 to 15% of the population. And it belongs to Orthomyxoviridae family and contains RNA that is ribonucleic acid. And the symptoms include fever, chills, headache, lack of energy. And the potential phytochemicals targeting the virus are flavonoid, alkaloid, lignan, and many. Dengue, and now second coming to the dengue. Dengue is mostly seen in tropical region because of high rate of mosquitoes there. It is mostly transmitted through Aedes group of mosquitoes, and dengue virus belongs to family Flaviviridae, and symptoms include high fever, nausea, vomiting. And the phytochemicals targeting the virus are flavonoid, alkaloid, lignan, and coumarins. And now coming to the hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is the member of Hepatinidae family, and it is known that it has infected over 300 million people worldwide. And what happens here is that it basically affects the liver. Initial acute symptoms include loss of appetite, vomiting, dark urine, body aches, but later, when untreated, it might lead to jaundice and subsequently death. So, the symptoms usually occur after 1 to 2 months of getting infected. The phytochemicals targeting the virus are flavonoids and lignin. Now coming to chikungunya. Chikungunya is also very prominent in tropical regions. It is first found in Tanzania, and this is transmitted through Aedes species of mosquito. Although the mortality rate is only around 0.1%, chikungunya can lead to permanent disability because it mostly affects joints. So subsequently, the symptoms are fever, joint pain, headache, joint swelling, and the phytochemicals targeting the virus are flavonoid, coumarins, terpenes, and terpenoids. And now coming to HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS is still a major concern around the globe and is still claiming many lives. HIV basically affects CD4 white cell. So if the CD4 levels fall below 200, then HIV gets converted into AIDS, that is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and in which the immune system gets severely compromised and the body becomes susceptible to many infections. So symptoms include fever, chill, night sweat, and muscle aches, and the phytochemicals targeting the virus are terpenes, terpenoid, and coumarins. And coming to COVID-19, which we all are seeing now, so symptoms include fever, dry cough, tiredness, and these symptoms are seen after 2 to 14 days of getting infected. And as of now, the only phytochemicals that seem to be targeting the virus is flavonoid. Now I will request Shashi to talk about the literature.
Hi, now I'm going to talk about what we got from literature review of different research papers and articles. As there are different types of phytochemicals, I will discuss some of them one by one. Starting from flavonoids, which is constitute large number of phytochemicals. There are more than 600 types of flavonoids known as of now, having flavin core and 15 carbon scatter with benzene ring connected through a heterocyclic pyridine ring. Flavonoids might be broadly categorized into various subcategories as flavones, flavonoids, isoflavonoids, flavonols, bioflavonoids, etc. Pache and its mate found that apigenin, one of flavanols, with aclovir, antivirally affects herpes simplex infection type 1 and SORT2 in subatomic culture. The normal and fluid concentrate of estricic vegetation related to apigenin had been resolved as the main compound, that is enthusiastic contrary to HSV1, poliovirus type 2, hepatitis C infection. Gildea in its research found that bacillin is thought to be the hindrance of replication of the dengue infection at certain stages. Narginin and hespetin are some of the perceived flavonoids. Salehi and its group seeing that a part of narginin set up inhibitory effect contrary to dengue virus for the stall intracellular replication of chikungunya virus and hindered a meeting and a long-lasting period of assembly of irresistible hepatitis C virus. Al Khalifa found that chalcones have an impact on Middle East breast disorder coronavirus, flu, Rift Valley fever, hepatitis B and C. Now, another type of important pathochemicals, radionuclides, are nitrogen-containing base with at least one nitrogen particle in an amine-like structure found in animal groups, including microscopic organisms, parasites, warm-blooded creatures, and plants. From Mazuni research, we got that antiviral activity against HIV infection was ascribed to piperidine and free hydroxyl bunch found in the heterocycle design of folliculites got from Cantrantus lanceus or Cantrantus rosus. Lyrosine, one of the alkalides acquired from a Chinese therapeutic species lycosis, transmute is known to have antiviral activity against different infections, including enterovirus, avian flu infection H5N1 virus, HCV, HSP1, Buna virus. Now coumarins and lignin. Coumarin have a design of benzopyrene, which is comprised of benzene moiety made with an alpha pyrene ring. In Mishra and its team research paper, we got that coumarins like 4-hydroxycoumarin, 4-phenylcoumarin, furanocoumarin intensified to lot greater amount of its subsidiaries to neutralize HIV by obstructing integrase, inhibit transcriptase, viral DNA replication, and glycosylation. Lignin is a 1,4-diarylbutane compound got from the cyclic acid parasympathetic pathway. Radish studies, a known Chinese species, is utilized in treatment for some popular sickness, principally mumps infection, Kwashiorkor infection, HSV infection, respiratory syncytial infection. Fumigene paper, Pentlative fluorine, separated from the leaves and stem part of Justica generosa, acts against Zika infection by restraining the combination with the host cell layer. Now last part, tannin, terpenoids and resveratrol. Tannin as an acid contains carboxylic acid containing hydroxyl molecule is a sub-high atomic weight phenolic compound together structure. Antiviral movement of tannin relies upon the self-heal of infection absorption, which depresses the infection action and lessening the capacity to assault human cell. Resveratrol or 3,5,4-trihydroxy transstabilin is made of two fluorine phenolic rings which are bonded by a double strand bond found mainly in plants and fruit. Lin and co-author in their research conferred antiviral action of resveratrol against MERS-CoV using Vero E6 cell. Quoxzorian and its team found that isobronol is a terpene that through restrain replication of HSV1. Glycyrrhizin is another terpene that has antiviral movement against HIV as indicated by particular targets. Now Santosh will explain the methodology part.
Good morning. My name is Santosh Vishwanathan, and I'm going to be talking about the materials and methodology aspect of our project. So given is a consolidated table of all possible common viruses, the corresponding families of viruses, and the phytochemical cure for the diseases caused by these viruses. Methodology: the viral life cycle. There are three main stages of the viral life cycle. One is the entry stage, second is the genome replication stage, and third is the exit stage. The virus takes complete control of the reproductive cell machinery in order to replicate within the host body. This replication goes on taking place until or unless inhibited. So there are various modes of virus inhibition available. They are: 1. Target DNA-RNA polymerase, inactivation of the host enzyme at the entry stage of the viral assembly. This technique is commonly employed by the flavonoid EGCG, stands for epigallocatechin gallate. Second, inhibition of phosphorylation of protein, used to inhibit viral replication at the time of DNA-RNA synthesis. Third, synergistic effect against infections, which is commonly exhibited by the flavonoid phytochemicals, which is a flavanol, and luteolin, which is a flavone, together establish a synergistic effect and have a very strong inhibitory effect against the herpes simplex virus HSV1 infection. And fifth, the hindrance of the viral polymerase and restricting of the release of viral capsid proteins. These are the modes of viral inhibition. Extraction of phytochemicals. Now, the ways in which these antiviral phytochemicals are extracted are as follows. 1. Extraction of phenolic compounds using solvents. Second, microwave-assisted extraction. This technique is mainly based on the underlying fact that the disruption or changes in the structures of the cells is owing to the ionic migration of molecules through the solution, which is caused by the application of electromagnetic waves with frequencies ranging from 300 MHz to 300 GHz through the sample matrix. This results in quick heating of the sample and the reaction of the specific phytochemical compound with the microwave energy in order to increase the mass transfer rate of solvent. The basic components used in this type of extraction are a microwave generator, a waveguide, and an applicator. Ultrasonic assisted extraction method is very similar to the microwave assisted extraction, except that here ultrasound at frequencies greater than 20 kHz is used for extracting the phytochemicals, and a simple ultrasonic probe system and an ultrasonic bath is used for this type of extraction. Next is structural identification. So the methods to identify the structure of phytochemicals are as follows. 1. UV visible spectroscopy. UV spectroscopy is used for the analysis of aromatic molecules because they are excellent chromophores in the UV range. And also, they are mainly used for the quantification of the total flavonoids content, TFCs, from plant extracts. Now, we come to the infrared spectroscopy. In this technique makes use of the underlying fact that different chemical bonds between organic molecules have different vibrational tendencies on absorption of the IR radiation. Hence, they have a characteristic frequency absorption band in the IR spectrum obtained. Now, the FTIR spectroscopy is a very high resolution technique in order to identify the chemical components and the structural composites of the sample. It makes use of complex algorithms and procedures. Next, we have the NMR spectroscopy. This technique makes use of is based on the magnetic properties of the atomic nuclei, mainly the carbon isotope, the proton, and the hydrogen atom. So this technique again uses the same FTIR spectrometer and is in order to estimate the number of protons present in the molecule, the number of vicinal and geminal protons, the number of protons attached to the inundated carbon atoms, etc., in order to give indications of the structure of the phytochemicals. Lastly, we come to the qualitative analysis of phytochemicals. So here there are many tests which can be run on the check for multiple phytochemicals in the extract. So now we take the given sample of Lantana camara leaf oil extract. First, alkaloids test. To perform alkaloids test, we take the extracted leaf oil, 1% and 1% of HCl. We take this mixture and incubate it in a water bath for 2 minutes. Now the filtrate is treated with Dragon Dogs reagent. Now the indication is that of turbidity or orange precipitate. Second is flavonoids test. Here we just take the aqueous extract and add sodium hydroxide solution to it. Indication: the color of the sample turns yellow, indicating the presence of flavonoids. Tannins test procedure. Extracted sample is further dissolved and 3 drops of FeFl3 solution is added. Now the indication is that the sample color changes to blue-black, indicating the presence of tannins. Lastly, we have the terpenes or the terpenoids test, where we use the Salkowski test, in which we take the extract, we add CHCl3 chloroform about 2 ml and concentrated H2SO4 around 3 ml, carefully added to form a layer. Now, indication: a reddish-brown coloration at the interface is formed, which shows positive results for the presence of terpenoids. Now over to Subhash in order to explain the inference from this topic.
Hello everyone, this is Subhash and I'm here to talk about our research paper, Phytochemicals and their applications. As you know, phytochemicals are divided into various classes such as flavonoids, alkaloids, coumarins, and tannins. Apigen works on both DNA and RNA viruses. Flavols, another subclass of flavonoids, have scientific effect on various viruses. Tannins and tannic acids have actions against influenza virus, papilloma infection type 16, and also HIV virus. Now, phytochemicals were always a part of human medicine dating back to the Middle Ages, where traces were found of humans using plants to cure various diseases. In India, where there is a strong influence of natural medicine on the society, there have been reports of phytochemical compounds like flavonoids and alkaloids being effectively used to treat diseases. These days, the capital spent on gathering and foraging for rare plants which possess the required phytochemicals for their properties has pushed major companies into adopting traditional methods of medicine which prevail in the native regions, thus utilizing the knowledge which has been passed down throughout generations. The recent advancements suggest that due to their immense antioxidant properties that they possess, they can be used to slow down the aging of cells, thus increasing the average lifespan of human beings. The natural medicine also solves the problem of mutations as they are susceptible to these mutations. Now, from our research paper, we have drawn the conclusion, we've understood the mechanism of antiviral behavior of the phytochemicals and the method of viral propagation through the human cells. We have also understood the possible modes of inhibition of the virus, and some of the methods include which come under the inhibition are RNA and DNA polymerase, reverse transcriptase inhibition, synergistic effect, inhibition of phospholipid protein, and many more. Given the immense importance of phytochemical sources, extraction, and the same are discussed step by step in the research paper. Purification techniques of bioactive compounds, qualitative analysis through different chemical tests are also clearly elucidated with studies as examples. Finally, a consolidated table listing the phytochemicals with their sources and diseases cured is graphically represented. The scope for discovery of newer therapeutic aids, simpler ways of extraction of these phytochemicals is very high at the present COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has been declared a global pandemic by the WHO. It was caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2, which has infected millions and took many lives across the globe, and no proven treatment is established so far. Researchers from various parts of the world are actively involved in developing suitable drugs, vaccines, and other possible methods to eradicate this pandemic. Alternative treatments are also gaining importance. China, where COVID-19 outbreak was first reported, strongly believes in natural drugs used in Chinese system of medicine, and they follow combination therapies. The phytochemicals or phytonutrients have proven its role in treatment of diseases including viral, bacterial, and cardiovascular diseases. From literature, a few phytochemicals have shown significant antiviral properties against COVID-19 through drug repurposing approaches like molecular docking. Also, a wide range of phytochemicals like alkaloids, tannins, polyphenols, flavonoids, protein ligands, and coumarins possess antiviral properties against different types of coronavirus, including SARS-CoV-2. Since the developed treatment with natural drugs requires time, these phytochemicals are also seen in common herbs and can be incorporated into our daily diet, which would increase the immunity for COVID-19. Ayurveda, the oldest system of medicines, have various documented traditional medicines which can be source of antiviral phytochemicals and can be used for both management and treatment of COVID-19. The recent developments in India where researchers believe consuming herbal immunomodulators can prevent or even cure COVID-19. Unfortunately, specific preclinical and clinical trials to evaluate the effect of herbal immunoregulators have not been conducted. This would be the future scope of our research paper, where we would like to test and research about the various phytochemicals and their properties and their effects on the COVID-19 virus, conducting the required preclinical and clinical trials, thus making a suitable herbal drug for the treatment of COVID-19. Thank you, and this concludes our research paper.